Hey, welcome back to another episode of these crazy fools that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. Today, we're going to dig deep and find out if we really just eat meat all the time. Is that really true? Are we talking a bunch of crap? Do we ever slip up? Do we ever experiment? Do we ever have regrets? Do we ever decide, oh, screw it, I'm just going to eat bread and pasta and uh, peanut butter all day? So, anyways, we get questions like that sometimes, and I think it's a fair question because especially people who haven't done something like this, it seems really out there, seems really extreme or something like that. So we're gonna satisfy that itch by giving it a good scratch. So who wants to lead off, Justin or Ray? Which one of you wants to plunge into this one first?
I
Yeah,
can.
sure.
Oh, nice timing.
All right,
Yeah,
Justin,
sure.
I'll pick on you.
So I mean, like, yeah. So no, I wouldn't say I'm 100% carnivore, and I think they're recorded on this channel. Like every time I not transition off, because I don't call it going off carnivore. I kind of call it gambling or playing around or just seeing or experimenting or just, hey, you know what? I'm feeling great. Tomorrow, I want to feel a little less great. Um, and so you guys can go back in the channel. There's the soy sauce incident, and there's the mustard incident. Um, you know, um, every time I eat something off, it's the reaction is usually a little bit different. So one something that sticks out in my head though is that one of the first times I went off, I had some broccoli with a burger at a restaurant. And I used to get broccoli with like my food all the time, thinking it was healthier because I was kind of getting away from fries at the time, at least that. And broccoli used to not mess with me. But that time I had broccoli like last year, man, like my stomach hurt and like my head hurt. Like it was not a good time. Like that sucked. So I was like, all right, no broccoli. Um, but so two recent times of going off, I don't know if these have been recorded yet. I don't think so. Was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I had a beer. This beer, it's called Parat, like Paarate or something like that. I was at a friend's birthday at a restaurant, and I had a friend that had ordered it, and she's like, "This is like the best beer. Like it's so good. Like it's amazing, and it better be good because it's like $10 a bottle. Like a little like 12-ounce bottle of beer is $10. So it's like, man, that's crazy. So she's like, here, you should have some. So she like poured me like a half glass, and I drank it down, and I was like, damn, that was good. That was a good beer, you know. Um, and yeah, I mean, the next like two things were really kind of weird. Well, not weird. One I expected, one I didn't expect. Three things actually. One, no stomach upset. I don't remember having digestive issues that night or within the next few days after. So that was kind of nice. Didn't have any digestive issues. Um, but I did have like a headache for the next 3 or 4 days. That wasn't fun. It never got to like migraine level. I think my pain level went as high as like a 5 or a 6, and it was like manageable. And then the third thing, which I thought was really weird though, which I didn't expect, was I actually started to get carb cravings. I started to crave like something sweet, or like bread started to sound good. Like it was really weird, or some rice. Like I never crave carbs. Like I really haven't craved carbs the entire time being carnivore until I drank that beer. And it was kind of funny because like I even found myself looking it up on the internet and reading about like different beers and being like, hey, maybe I should have this, maybe I should have that, maybe I should have this or something. But then like as I noticed that, and I noticed myself not feeling as good, I was like, you know what? Beer probably is not a good idea. Because you're having the carbs and the alcohol and whatever else, if it's sweet with like a fruit or something like that. Um, so yeah, but I mean that was one story. And then yesterday I went out with some friends to the park, and I drove, met a friend closer to San Diego. A group of friends of us went down there, and she had bought, one of my friends had bought all this fruits. There's like watermelon, grapes, dried papaya, etc. You know, and I'd gone the entire summer without any watermelon, any cantaloupe, nothing like that, you know? So I allowed myself well, actually, I think I had 3 pieces of watermelon that were probably like an inch long. Um, 1 grape is what I had. And then before that, though, did go to Texas Roadhouse, got a burger, and it came with a pickle on the side. Pickles don't seem to bother me, and I don't know if it's because they're fermented more or less. I seem to be okay with pickles because I can get pickles on a burger, doesn't seem to bother me, and then I can also like eat like a pickle on the side of the burger. That sometimes it comes with one of those just like dill pickles. Um, and it doesn't seem to bother me. So I had that, and then afterwards, um, me and a couple of the people I was with went and had dinner at Denny's. Um, and they're like, "What do you want for your side?" And I was like, let's get some fruit because I can give it to one of my friends or whatever." But cantaloupe is my absolute favorite fruit. It's always been my favorite, and
Disgusting.
so there was cantaloupe in the fruit mix or whatever on the side. So I had myself 1 inch square of cantaloupe as well. Um, no digestive issues. Really haven't noticed too much. I think I had like a little bit of stomach upset last night, but nothing's bothered me today. I have a little bit of a headache, but I don't know if that's like weather change or all that, if it's like a blood sugar thing. It's one of those times that I really wish I had like a CGM, because I really feel like that would be cool to see like what that grape did and the watermelon and then like the cantaloupe if I was doing like one of these or something like that. Um, but yeah, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So yeah, I mean, am I no longer carnivore? I don't think so. I think I'm still plenty
Turn in
carnivore.
your card.
Right. And here's the thing, and I think many other carnivores attest to this, that we seem to be able to handle fruit a lot better than a vegetable. I feel like if I had like I said, like the broccoli or a piece of kale or some spinach, it would probably be a worse time. Not to mention it wouldn't taste as good. And sweet tastes so weird. Like that grape just tasted weird. Like it was still sweet, but it wasn't as sweet and it wasn't as good as I remember when I would eat them regularly. So it's kind of interesting.
Well, Ray, you're up next. Sounds like Justin had small doses of fruit here and there and the occasional pickle, and it was no big deal. So, what about you, Ray?
Sounds like accidental eating to me. So yes, you would be considered 100% carnivore as far as I'm concerned. I do put that role on me for 100% also, even though I do cheat. So I guess technically you can't say 100%, 100%, but it's definitely 99.9 something percent rounded up. That's 100% in my eyes, just like Justin. So I want to say, I can tell you my last, I guess if you want to call it cheat. So I had yogurt there were some cucumbers in there, garlic, and what's that leaf stuff called? Um, dill and dill. So, obviously I had that because I was at my sister-in-law. She made that specially for me. I can't say no to it because, I don't want to insult them. It's my sister-in-law at their house, that kind of stuff. So I ate it. Enjoyed the hell out of it. It's really yummy. It's really good. It's a very thick yogurt, Bulgarian yogurt. So of course the next day, I didn't feel very 100% ish. didn't affect me too much other than a little bit of extra acne and just not 100%ish. Before that, my cheat was on my son's birthday in March. So I had a birthday cake, single birthday cake with him. And oh man, I felt like death. That I only had one slice of cake, but right after that, I had to take a nap. The next day, acne all over the place. Just obviously, I don't handle wheat stuff very good. But then again, I have diverticulitis. What do you expect? The thing is that slice also tastes, well, it tasted too sweet for the first bite. And then, you do the second bite, starts tasting okay. By the time the whole slice is gone, I'm reaching at the cake wanting more. I had to actually literally tell myself, go away from this crap. So walked away. Before that was my daughter's birthday, so which is on March 9th. So I had a cake then too. Before that, October of last year was oh no, I'm sorry. Before that was January. January I had a cake for New Year's. Forgot about that. So it's funny, I can actually remember every single cheat that I go along. Now, the one where I had a bread with bun and all that kind of stuff was in October last year. And that was because my wife was meeting her friends that she hadn't seen in a long time. And she's like, please don't embarrass me. Eat normal. Please don't embarrass me. What do you say to that? I'm like, fuck. So obviously I'm not going to order like, 4 patties and then just eat that. So I did it and ate it. And actually I had no effect on that. I was like, that was kind of weird. Although coincidentally, I did get a cold during that time. I don't know if I should blame it on that at all, but I just coincidentally had a cold. I didn't feel the after effects right after it, or seeming daily things, but I did get a cold. So anyways, I have such high effects to any of these things that I really don't look forward to these. Dirty carnivore is probably my closest cheat, which once a month we do go out to eat. Like we go to a restaurant called Nori, and it's a Japanese steakhouse, and it's a buffet, but all these buffets, all their meats is tainted with something. On that soy sauce, the typical Asian food kind of stuff. And I do tend to feel it. So I would consider those are my main cheats, because I do that once every month and a half. I try to drag it out as much as I can, tell the kids, maybe not this time around. We have one coming up. My kids are like, for Halloween, we got to celebrate, that kind of stuff. So I'm like, maybe we'll see, that kind of thing. So it depends if my wife really insists, which she does sometimes. So we'll go to either a Chinese restaurant and I'll eat the whole duck, but it's got soy sauce all over it. So, and I feel the effects of it, and I'm never really truly satisfied. So yes, am I 100% in the technical term? No. But I can easily feel like I can round up to 100% very easily. So that's why I say I'm 100% carnivore. Would you agree, Justin? When you say that same way, or Tom, when you say the same?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, you know, and I get this fear in the carnivore community about being dogmatic or anything like that, and there are, like, I think it's really weird because food is like a personal thing. When you eat normal, nobody asks what you eat. It's
Right.
when you go off the reservation that they pick at like every
Yeah.
little
Every
thing that
little
you
detail.
eat,
Yeah.
And so it's like, we're happy to share, but honestly, what we eat is nobody's damn business,
Right.
at the end of the day. But I get it, people are curious, and we make these videos to help people that are starting out and things like that. That's who, and there's people that are like, I'm getting jerky, but it has dextrose and maple
Right.
syrup in it. It's like, well, it's like the fifth ingredient down in it or something like that. It has onion powder. Is that allowed? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
are eggs allowed? Can you eat
Right.
eggs on a
Right.
carnivore diet? And
I
so,
get that a lot. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so it's just like it's just what's the big broad message? And there's a bigger discussion here that we can have on a different video, but it just seems like, look, you're doing awesome because you're not eating the carbs and you're not eating the plants. Like you're not eating a whole plant, you're not eating a stalk of something. And I know we're talking about this as like our cheat episode or whatever, but we as carnivores we don't do cheat meals, we don't have cheat
That's right.
days, like
Definitely
there
not
are
days.
definitely not days. Right, exactly. And I generally at least bare minimum a week or longer in between any kind of particular cheat,
Yeah.
unless I'm on vacation. I mean, I think I had something with sauce when I was in Shasta, and I had that fried in duck fat. But
Right.
on regular day to day, I mean, another thing too, I like what you say, Ray, about being able to go 100% so easily. So, I woke up this morning, did my regular intermittent fasting from last night when it was, lunchtime, breakfast time for me. Um, you know, I went back to, some raw cheese with some meat, and that was fine. That was lunch, and I didn't want anything else. And I feel like that's what's special about the carnivore diet is that even when you go off the reservation a little bit, you don't really. I mean, it's so I feel like it's so easy, at least for me, to just like go back to beef, salt, and water the next day.
Yeah.
For the most part, I just don't. I don't want more watermelon. That 3 pieces of watermelon was fine. Like, okay, got my summer fill. We're going to the fall. Like, I'm totally fine. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the only reason why any of us do this is because we feel our best at it, right? So there's not like really any there's not like any point in telling everybody they need to do it, right? So I mean, I have reason to believe that we evolved to eat meat, and all these plants weren't part of our diet, and a lot of our, the more obvious diseases come from the refined foods,
Mhm.
the high sugar content, the high starch content. But then there's all the toxic compounds in the plants that we didn't evolve to eat, especially in any sort of quantity. But whatever people do that they feel their best. So somebody told me I absolutely feel my best if I eat celery every day. I'm like, well, eat celery every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's your thing, and that works for you for whatever reason. So, the point isn't saying that I don't eat carnivore because you guys are my friends or anything like that. We
Right.
became friends because we felt best if we just ate meat. So, last Thursday I had some company over, and we had some guacamole, and I was dipping like jerky and salami in the guacamole, eating it, and I actually didn't feel good later on. Like actually, I got that like there was some sort of spice or something in it, and who knows what other it was like store bought. It wasn't like homemade, so who knows what was in it. And it really didn't agree with me. And I grew up eating a lot of avocado because it's common around here. It's kind of coveted around here. So
California represent California avocados. We
that's
make
right.
advertisements about them, but we don't get no special discount. They're still $3 an avocado or whatever.
Yeah, they could be really pricey. So, yeah, so I kind of paid the price because I was still like tasting it the next day. His stomach wasn't quite right. I was like, hmm. But it probably had more to do with the adulteration of the ingredients than anything. But I don't really know. And I've said many times, like I go out for burgers and I get lettuce wrap burgers all the time. I've been out with Justin, and he ordered his burger, and then I ordered mine, and he's like, you forgot to tell him no spread. I was like, oh yeah. So, I ate it. It had some sort of dressing, like Thousand Island dressing or something on it. It didn't bother me. I've eaten burgers, lettuce wrap burgers many times. I've eaten a regular burger with a bun a couple of times just because it wasn't practical to do otherwise. And, it didn't really seem to be a problem. I'm trying to think what else. I know I've eaten something else. I've tasted, my girlfriend doesn't eat anything like I do, and I've tasted her food here and there or whatever. I didn't make a meal out of it, and it didn't really seem to affect me. So yeah, I mean, I think we can all tolerate a little bit of most things, but then sometimes we're all allergic to things. Like when I go to the doctor and they test me for like nut allergies, I come back as normal with no allergies. But I know like if I eat walnuts, I definitely have an allergic reaction to walnuts. Why, I don't know. But then when I was keto, I was eating a lot of almond based stuff, and it clearly caused digestive issues. And then we find out they're, nuts like that tend to be rich in oxalates and stuff like that. So
And lectins too.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, and I who didn't love peanut butter as a kid, So a lot of that food, you feel better without it, and you don't miss it so much. Um, and if you try something, taste something once in a while. Oh, I had because I generally don't eat the like ice cream made with milk, but every once in a while I would have a like a halo top made from coconut milk, and then like they changed it or something. The last time I had one, my stomach wasn't right. It was, and they seem to be disappearing off the market. And I definitely can't eat the ones they have like it's kind of like a keto style low carb ice cream. So, but I think it's made with milk and it has, probably like xylitol or something in it, and they taste pretty good, but they definitely don't agree with my stomach. So, but that was the kind of thing back in the day. It was like, have one once in a while, big deal. And then now they just don't agree with me, so I just don't eat them. So, and I can make like ice cream out of actual cream at home if I really want to. It's kind of a lot of work, huh, Justin?
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah. But hey,
So
we
I
throw
wind
in
up not
the
doing it.
bacon in there.
That's right. No more ice cream without bacon in it. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I know I've eaten something else. Well, I know I went to a restaurant uh a while back, and I think that I ordered fish or something there, and it had been grilled. I think they clearly put some sort of vegetable oil on it. That definitely gave me indigestion. So I think that's one of the big offenders. It's just whatever they use, probably like soybean oil or canola oil or something. And yeah, you put that on anything. I mean, there was probably like some zucchini or something that came with it, carrots, grilled carrots or something. And even that, like one bite of that, I was like, God, this oily kind of stuff they got on here is causing indigestion within minutes, you know. So I think in all, most people have foods like that they realize they just doesn't agree with them, and those are the most important things to avoid, right? If you want to be your best, if you want to do well at a sport, like I was just telling these guys, we finally could get to go back to the gym after, see, it's October now, and the last time I was able to go was in March because of the COVID-19 lockdown thing. You go, you figure you've had to wait all these months to go back to the gym, and you want to go back, and number one, you don't want to hurt yourself because you haven't been in the gym for months, but at the same time, you want to go get the most out of it. You don't want your stomach to be screwed up. You don't want to be tired. You don't want to, be low on energy, and you certainly don't want to have a hard time recovering. You want to recover really fast. That was one of the things, like just eating meat every day and being able to go to the gym and just work out a different body part every day and just recovering really fast was like a miracle. I mean, that was a major game changer for me. And if I eat off, it's not going to work, right? I'm not going to be able to recover fast. I'm not going to feel good when I'm there. I mean, anybody who's tried to work out when they're nauseated or their stomach's upside down or something, forget about it. You're gonna be running to the bathroom throwing up rather than getting your workout in. So definitely something to avoid. But at the same time, I know a lot of athletes that out there that burn an insane amount of calories, they do supplement with things like white rice and stuff like that because they can't get enough calories from eating meat. They just can't pack enough in. So, and those guys do well. So I would say, if anything, don't don't eat anything that's going to generate cravings. Don't plan on having cheat days, and avoid things that mess with your digestion or don't make you feel good. But as much as I believe that we evolved to eat meat, particularly red meat, particularly the meat of ruminants or large mammals, um, I think the important thing is to eat things that help you feel your best and perform, and whatever that is. So,
Yeah, I just
um,
want to touch on like a few different points. One, like on the just talking on the coaching side now, and Ray, you can attest to this as well. Um, Alcohol seems to mess people up when people go out drinking, even if they're drinking, bourbon, which is carnivore friendly-ish, at least by community standards, not scientific standards, or like a vodka
well, it's
or a
low
tequila.
carb, but I think we all agree that alcohol in general is not a health food, and it is an extra source of calories. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure alcohol is actually toxic to every tissue in the body. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely a non-essential. How about that?
yeah. But people, I honestly don't believe coffee is good for people either. But I will drink coffee occasionally. I really enjoy it. So, but I actually don't think it's a health food. I don't think it's really good for us. But same thing with alcohol. It's not really good for us, but we enjoy it once in a while. To each his own, right?
With coffee, at least you can actually balance that productive boost that you get out of that. Alcohol, I'm not really sure what you're going to get. Well, I guess you get to chill better, but with the carnivores then going, what do you need chill for? You know?
right. And so people they'll drink on a weekend with some friends, and then they'll go off carnivore, which is not good. The other thing is, now I think I at least went 6 months strict before I ever ate off diet, if I remember correctly. And so anyone out there listening that you're new and stuff like that, this is not for new carnivores. And I hate to put it that way, or like put that block there or something, but honestly, 90, but I would highly suggest 6 months strict, you know, because it takes a while for the body to reset, and so that you can know what really messes with you if you do decide to have something, off diet. And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if your birthday is 2 months away. On that birthday, you're staying carnivore. I mean, my buddy, I have a good group of friends and stuff. So, I said I was carnivore. I think my birthday came around and I was 4 months in, roughly. Yeah, 4 months in when my birthday hit. And I was like, hey guys, don't get me cake. Don't do it. Don't get me cookies. Don't get me cake. Um, you know, um, and they cooked me like a brisket or something, because one of my friends happens his family does catering, and like they make these meats or whatever. So I had a meat cake, at a brisket, and everyone loved it, and it was a hit. I was like, see, everyone wants meat for their birthday, so but
Yeah.
like,
Your comment on people going out drinking and falling off the wagon, not being carnivore, kind of remind me of what I keep hearing, some statistic that when vegans drink, they tend to eat meat. So like this huge percentage of them eat meat. So I keep hearing this. I don't know if it's fact. And in a lot of ways, vegans seem like the polar opposites of carnivore, but at the same thing, they're almost like exactly the same thing, because a lot of them come to it because they think it's healthier. And of course, there's the ethical side of it, right? They think that their feelings sort of dictate their ethics, and now you should never kill anything or hurt an animal or whatever. But at the same time, I mean, there aren't too many other people that severely restrict their diets quite like the way carnivores do. So in that way, that we're very similar, and I think that's why we see so many vegans go carnivores, because they're already disciplined enough to change their diet drastically. But it's no secret that if you're drinking alcohol or whatever, that or probably any other drug, you're probably less likely to be coherent, right? You're probably less likely to adhere to the diet, as it were. So
Right, definitely. And just the third part I wanted to hit on is that the theme that links all of our cheats together is the social environment. And that is, everyone says that the social pressure or the social environment is the most difficult part of staying carnivore. Because as Ray said, his wife didn't want his to be her to embarrass, or for him to embarrass her by ordering just a stack of meat or something like that for her friends. I got pressured into eating a little bit of fruit because my friends are all eating, and they're from a different cultural background where it's, again, offensive, or I think they would have been fine, but like, you feel weird enough with the way that you eat. You just don't want to feel extra weird in the moment. And I get it. And it's not I'm not saying that I'm bending to it. Like, it's still my choice, and I'm like, I want watermelon, so I'm gonna eat a few whether or not they want me to eat it or not was honestly off the table, you know. And then when they did try to get me to eat more of the stuff, I was like, no, I'm cool, it's good, whatever. Um, and that is tough, and each of us has to find the different way that you're gonna handle that, and each situation's gonna be a little different. Are you going to be the person that eats before going, and you're just going to fast while everyone else eats? Are you going to go and gamble and just be like, okay, well, what do they have there? I've done that like a few different times. um, or are you going to make up an excuse, or there's different ways to navigate it. But yeah, Raymond, as far as on the coaching side, when it comes to cheating or anything, what is your advice, or what have you seen?
So first of all, I like how Justin said we really recommend 6 months, and I want to be clear on why 6 months. Typically, we see a transition period of anywhere between 6 weeks to 3 months to transition. Some people take 6 months. So actually, it's a great advice to just hit the whole 6 months and just make sure that you're in the clear. The other thing is cravings. You don't want to take that chance. Now, each cheats if you do end up doing it. My advice is be mindful. Just like Justin said, he's like, I know I'm doing this watermelon. It is my choice. I'm putting it in my mouth. You need to be that mindful when you are doing the cheat. Then eventually, when you realize that this watermelon causes XYZ to me the next day or a few hours later, whatever, all you have to do is be mindful of that. Eventually, your brain will connect these foods to a negative reaction. Then the next, it'll take you a little while, maybe 5, 10 tries, but after enough connections, your brain automatically looks at that food in a different way. It's gonna say, "Oh no, I don't want to feel like that," and you're a lot more hesitant to go that way. Right now, I'm at the point where I make excuses why I don't want to go out to eat, and this is just doing dirty carnivore, okay? So just like Tom was saying about the vegetable oils and all kinds of things. You go out to a restaurant, I guarantee you're going to hit vegetable oil. There's no way around it. And that does affect us carnivores quite a bit. So with that, and it depends on your health situation, of course. I'm unfortunately, I was halfway dead. So obviously my health conditions, I don't handle vegetable oil at all. But everybody does feel their own way of vegetable oil. So, for example, but anyways, bottom line is if you're going to cheat, totally be mindful about it. Second thing, give yourself enough time if you just started. Remember, you're the one who controls what you put in your mouth. Tom?
yeah, you know what I was just reminded of was that two things that I didn't feel so good after I ate them both had barbecue sauce on them. The first time was Justin's birthday, middle of this freaking COVID crackdown. We go to a
And
barbecue place.
fires.
The mountains were on fire. It's over 100 degrees. We had to sit outside on the asphalt in the parking lot while we could watch the fires burning next to a freeway that was packed with cars. And we went to this place and they had beef ribs, which I don't get very often and I love. I ordered them and I know why they ordered them. The the waiter's done taking her order, and Jessica goes, "Hey, you forgot to tell him no sauce." I'm like, "Oh shit." Well, he came and it was smothered in sauce. I was like, "Well, how bad could it be?" It had so much sauce on it though, like I basically my hands were covered in barbecue sauce, and there was nothing I could do but just to keep eating because there there wasn't enough resources around to clean these hands more than once, right? So I gave Justin one of the ribs because he was a birthday boy, but I mouthed through and they were fantastic, but the sauce messed with me. And then I forgot what I'd cooked something at home and it wasn't that great. And I had barbecue sauce at the house. We had people over again. Well, I don't remember what the barbecue sauce was for originally, but I already had this bottle that was open. I put some barbecue sauce on there and ate it, and I didn't feel good. So, and it's regular off the shelf stuff. There's sugar. I'm sure there's vegetable oils in there, and who knows what. And so that would be one thing. I'd be more worried about eating barbecue sauce than I would like lettuce or something, to be honest with you, because I know that trigger or ordering meat that's got vegetable oil all over it, that would concern me more than accidentally eating. Oh wait, there was one more time when I got sick. My boss, who's trying to be a really nice guy, really thoughtful, he had gone out, he came back with a taco. He had them make me taco shells out of cheese, and he said the guy had to try it like 3 or 4 times before he got it right. So he brings you this taco. It's like carne asada on a cheese tortilla with more cheese and cabbage and some of the hottest freaking taco sauce I've ever had in my life. I mean, it was eye blistering hot. And so, anyways, he's like, "Oh, you like cabbage?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, cabbage, fine." So I eat this taco, one taco, and I didn't notice anything for a while. And then it just so happened that I forgot I left something at the office. I had to go back, and let's just say that the aftermath of eating that cabbage with that taco sauce was something I had not experienced in many, many years. So let's just say that it was punishing to say the least. And it probably took about 8 to 12 hours for that to die down. So, so yeah, you might want to avoid cabbage if you're not used to eating cabbage, shredded cabbage anymore, and you might want to avoid really hot taco sauce if you're eating that cabbage. I would just say uh, the a lot of like really hot sauce with a lot of fiber, probably not a good mix for somebody who's not used to it. So barbecue sauce, taco sauce, cabbage. Definitely be leery of those. But
Yeah, and
I
speaking
think I've had a hamburger with lettuce and tomato on it before, and it didn't bother me. It's no big deal. So,
and just the last thing I want to say is beware the keto level label. And I know carnivores, we like to include our keto friends, and we don't hate you, and we love you, and everything like that. But man, there's some fools out there pushing out these keto products. I've had a keto cookie. All right, yeah, but I only had one, and it was tiny. I've done that. Um, and but like, look at the ingredients. It's xylitol, it's stevia, it's all kinds of different other stuff. These sweeteners, these, I don't know, these other oily almond butter or something in it. And like, no, just put it down, walk away, have an egg, have some fat, have some real protein, go carnivore. I don't know, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, that's just like I feel like the keto treats really can mess people up. Those fat bombs or whatever, I never did those. Tom, I know you were a keto. Did you ever do a fat bomb, or
um,
was that not a thing yet?
no, I didn't really get into fat bombs. I mean, back then you had to make them.
Mm,
The closest idea was like fat coffee, like bulletproof coffee,
mm,
And I did make some crackers and bread or something out of almond flour and flaxseed flour. So,
Ooh.
but the fat bomb thing wasn't something I really got into. Closest thing would probably be coffee or ice cream. I did make some keto friendly ice cream, sure.
So yeah, so just warning, especially if you're new, just stay away. It's just best to
Yeah,
stay away from that
we
stuff.
hear about people all the time. They're pounding fat bombs all day, and when they're sweet, chocolatey goodness, yeah, people tend to eat too much. You know, you surpass the satiety signals with all that sweetness and seasoning and stuff like that. I mean, keto is kind of a two-edged sword because on one hand, people aren't afraid to try it because there's a lot of substitute foods that are similar to what they're used to, like breads and candies and stuff like that. On the other hand, since those are available, sometimes people have a hard time not overeating. So, or they're eating, they think it's good, but they're way past their 20 carbs in a day or whatever that they want to stick to. They're not, because they don't want to count or whatever. So
And just shout out to the ladies. Look, I get it, we're three dudes. But the chocolate cravings, we hear about it from other women in the carnivore community and stuff like that. From what I understand, a great hack is, well, I heard one is like heavy whipping cream with like 90% cacao. You know what I mean? Or the cacao butter or something like that. There's a few people that talk about that. So we get it. You need your chocolate, otherwise you'll bite our heads off. I mean, those are they're hardcore carnivores that I know that do the 90% cacao. You know, and we should bring them on here to talk specifically about chocolate because I think that would be a hit topic.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, gentlemen, anything you want to say in conclusion for tonight's video? By the way, I think we should take a poll and see what everybody's favorite air fryer is. Since
There you go.
I'm obsessed
Throw
with,
it on there.
with getting one now. So Ray's obsessed with getting a second one.
Yeah, I am obsessed with getting a second one.
All right. Well, we'll just suffice to say we want to thank everybody for watching. We look forward to your comments. We appreciate if you send links to this video on to people who can benefit from it. And we appreciate you being fans. We appreciate you subscribing to the channel. And we hope everybody out there eats a little more meat and feels better. And until next time, whatever you do,
Don't fall
Don't fall
down
down
the
the
carb
carb hole.
hole.